just like in the ethics code, there is a section on competency. Both the ethics code and the specialty guidelines are consistent with the federal rules of evidence. Federal rules of evidence define an expert in terms of somebody who has sufficient knowledge, skill, education, experience, and training. Okay. And in order to answer this question, do you have sufficient knowledge, skill, education, experience, and training? Consider the specialized nature of services. In other words, is this particular case involving a forensic issue which I have studied, the issue of fees. Okay. First of all, you will get into in forensic situations where there's a certain fixed fee. And this may or may not be adequate. Usually, if you can clarify the extent of your experience, the number of years you've been doing this, you can usually justify a higher fee, because they'll try to get away with paying you the least possible. And if you say, well, I've been doing this stuff for 20 years, I'm skilled, I've testified in, it is court-ordered treatment. Inform them of the nature and purpose of the treatment or diagnosis, and any limits of confidentiality. If they lack the capacity for informed consent, provide an explanation and seek assent. In other words, legally it's okay, you may not fully understand this, but are you willing to go along with it? And you should get appropriate permission from somebody who is legally authorized. Say maybe the lawyer doesn't want to give substitute judgment, but just says, go ahead and try it. Okay, let me see. Even then, the client can refuse. Edward, you're absolutely right. And with professional responsibilities, clarify the nature of the conflict, attempt to work it out. Okay, when you're working with fellow professionals, if a potential ethical violation has caused or may cause harm, take an action appropriate to the circumstances, to the legal and ethical obligations, how much harm will occur. Look at the balance of this against privacy and confidentiality. Speak to other psychologists if an informal resolution appears appropriate, and consult with the retaining party. So once again, you've got a lot of work to do. You've got to consult with a lot of people and weigh competing kinds of issues.